Hey guys, welcome to The Identity Shift. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Identity Shift. I am your girl, Tia Upshaw, and today we have the wonderful Win-Win, which is also known as Wyndolyn Brown, also known as Winnie Brown. Hi, Win.
Hey, girl.
How are you doing?
I'm great.
Good. I'm really excited. We're a little bit behind because we were just chatting.
I know.
Every time we get together, it's always a vibe, and we just kind of empower one another, feed off each other, give the information out there, just to see one another scale and do what we have to do. First and foremost, Winnie, I definitely want to say I'm happy to have you today. I've watched your journey over the last couple of years, and I smile when I talk about you because when I first met you, compared to now, two different people.
Yeah.
Like literally two different people. When they say a direction 180, you literally did direction 180. So let the listeners and the viewers know a little bit about who you are since I'm bigging you up. They're probably like, well, who the fuck's this? Give them a little bit about you, Winnie.
Hey, guys. So I'm Wyndolyn Brown, the CEO and founder of Empowerment for Hope. I'm a woman who came through a struggle of child sexual abuse, also sex trafficking, and a lot of gender-based violence. And I live with a lot of domestic violence. But instead of falling and leaving that, allow myself to wallow in self-pity and holding on to all that hurt, I literally took time for myself, honestly, and decided to reach out to get help. And when I did, and I felt that I was at a place where my addiction was okay, because I struggled through a 12-year addiction of crack cocaine and anything else that made me feel good. And it was just to cover up for what I was already going through, the pain that I was going through. But I took all that stuff after my fourth suicide attempt, and I said, okay, God, when I woke up in the hospital, honestly, and I realized that I was alive, I said, okay, this is my chance.
Yeah.
And when those doctors literally did an intervention to say, we can help you, but you have to make that decision today.
You have to help yourself, girl, too.
And I did that because I was tired of living on the streets of Toronto. I was tired.
I mean, I love Toronto, love Toronto.
It's cold, and I'm telling you, it's cold when that wind is blowing and you ain't got no blankets over you. But, I took that opportunity to help myself and to start my healing journey. And because of that, that's where Empowerment for Hope came from. Even though I was my biggest freaking critic because I was shy. I still had that stigma wrapped around sex trafficking and being Black woman and coming from the Black community. But I said, something, when you got a big mouth for everything else, and I look at all the young people in the community and outside of the community who are being affected by sex trafficking. And not just here in Halifax, but, Canada is a wide. And I said, no, I know I can make a difference. And I'm making a difference.
You are. And I will say before I get to my next topic or question at hand, we all know about sex trafficking. We do. But I never paid attention to it, Winnie, until I met you. And when I say pay attention, now when I see missing girls, I think it was like a month ago, there was like 3 missing girls that happened within the same week. And it just went ding, 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 ding. And I was like, I wonder if Winnie knows. Like, now I'm very alert to it. Even with my youngest daughter, she has pepper spray. Well, it's really bear mace. In a little pink container on her. And I said, if anybody pulls over and asks you anything, spray them. Don't even conversate, spray them. Like, now you have me kind of looking out and saying, like, this shit really exists here. And my daughter could be a victim. My daughter could be, someone could say, I want to be your boyfriend. Let's talk for a couple of weeks. And the next thing you know, my daughter's talking about, I want to go to Toronto just for a vacation, and I don't see her again.
Exactly. And Tia, thank you so much, for honest to God, for saying what you just said, because now you're paying attention.
Literally.
And this literally is all that I wanted, was to bring awareness and to be able to educate people on the dangers of sex trafficking, actually to be like, open your eyes and pay attention to the signs, because they're all there.
They're there.
You made a great point when you said the boyfriend, and it's always somebody that we know, and it's always the boyfriend, And in this instance, for myself also, it was a man that was 24 years old to my 15 years old. But at the end of the day, he used my vulnerability and that young age to work. They call it trap me, because that's what he did. He trapped me because I was so in love with him, for as much as a 15-year-old little girl could be in love, And But I appreciate you saying that
Well,
because,
it's not old white men
oh
who
God,
look
no.
like they're in the clown trucks, the white trucks that we have the stigma of from back in the 90s, the 80s. These are people that will woo woo the little
Exactly.
girl. And even we have females that are doing it.
Exactly. Now that's another thing. And you just said to me too, I wonder if Winnie knows this. I do. I am on Leo's list at least 3 times a week.
Okay.
Sometimes I can get it wrong, but I put my own ad up. Okay, nobody knows it's me because I have a fake profile,
Yeah.
to be honest. And I get hit so many times from women and men. I literally have to sit down and figure out. Okay, I know I'm being catfished, but is this a man or is this a woman?
It's real.
You know, and I get a lot of women hit me up.
The women are getting into the industry because they know how much money this industry
Exactly.
is making. And I follow a person on TikTok. I can't remember their name, but she like literally follows people and goes like there was something that happened in a Walmart, and she went up to the white woman and said like, "I know you're a sex trafficker, and I've been watching you for about 4 months. You go to Target, you go to Walmart, you go to places where teen girls hang out, and you only approach teen girls." And then the other lady put a thing over her head and ran out the store. Like, and she
Really?
was just like a 30-year-old white woman. Literally, didn't even look like a trafficker, as people think. So, I love what you're doing. I respect what you're doing, and it takes a lot of guts to talk about it, because people think it doesn't exist, but it's alive and well
It is.
in Canada.
It is. And that's why I always tell people like you need to wake up because don't think because especially I notice this with some white people and with some black people. And they always say, well, I come from middle class black.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. You come from middle class black. So okay, because this certain person said this to me, they had to literally call me back and say, hey, I need help. My daughter's being trafficked. This is what's happening. Can I talk to you? And when they told me the story, I said to them, yeah, that's what's happening.
Absolutely.
That's what's happening. And when I have RCMP officers reaching out to me because they're taking a leave of absence from work because of the stress from work and then what's going on. And they're asking me, can you come sit down with me and talk to me? And I'm thinking to myself, oh, he's a police officer. How come he don't understand about sex trafficking? And it wasn't until I really sat and I listened to their story that I'm thinking to myself, just because you work at the police station, if you don't talk to the men that are of over like the sex trafficking, you're never gonna know. You're never gonna hear little things. Oh yeah, this one got arrested.
Absolutely. Oh my God.
And
Facts.
it's terrible because like you out of 10, maybe 2 or 3 may get into the court and they may go to jail. Out of 10.
Maybe.
Out of 10, and that's a maybe because because of the way that the justice is and you did the procedures of courts and this and that, it takes time and these men put things off and they have that right to have a fair trial even though they did these things to us as women. And because of that, some women don't want the re-traumatization.
It's true.
It's taking so long that, okay,
I need to
give
move
up.
on. I need to move on, live my life. I need to heal from it, so I'm not going to deal with it.
And then here we are, back to the 2 or 3 out of 10.
Jesus. Well, Winnie, again, I'm proud that you're taking this on and you turned it into, your survivor. Of course, we never say victim, but you're turning your survival into what you went through into, a not-for-profit and a purpose. I always say you have to have a purpose with a passion, which you do. Can you share a little bit more about the mission of Empowerment for Hope? Like I wouldn't say we know. I know why I started, and the listeners and viewers are probably saying, yeah, I get it now. But what is the mission and what does Empowerment for Hope truly stand for, and what do you do in the community?
So the mission is to try to break the cycle of violence and abuse in families and to break down the silence of sex trafficking that we have that is there, and to show families through education and awareness that they can have a better life. And my role in maintaining that mandate is by being in the community doing workshops.
And you are in the community.
And our peer support programs that we're doing, and just so we can bring women together. My whole goal is to be able to foster a sense of community amongst women, not just Black women, but BIPOC community women also. and those that do identify with the LGBT community, because what people don't really know out of the BIPOC and the BIPOC community and the LGBTQ community, they are more to
Targeted,
be targeted than we as Black women or even in Indigenous women, because of the stigma that is around that era. So I just I'm happy that I'm starting to formulate a team, because it's been able to make me to open up a bit, and I thank you for looking at that and seeing that.
Yeah, it was
You
great
know,
to see. Shout out to Michaela.
Yes, Michaela, I appreciate you a lot. But it just, because I want to be able to not just talk about sex trafficking. So, and I'm not taking it and putting it to the side. That is my mandate. But I want to be able to bring into like a healthy, holistic healing
Well, it
approach.
works because there's a lot that goes into that.
That's true.
You can't just stick with one topic
Exactly.
and then don't do everything else because
Exactly.
that one thing's not going to work.
Exactly. And I notice, when I want to partner with, especially Black organizations, they'll say, well, you just do sex trafficking. No, I don't.
That's not.
I do other stuff.
I may be a survivor of sex trafficking, and I don't just do sex trafficking. I educate around sex trafficking, number one. But number two, there's so many different elements to Winnie, and there's so many different elements to Empowerment for Hope. And that's why I asked that question.
Yes. And, we're getting ready to, and it's in the works, because I had an addiction. And for those 12 years, I want to be able to add an addiction kind of thing within what we're trying to do, not even within our peer support and with our bi-monthly holistic healing workshops, because I look at, for instance, when I do outreach in the community, so I go to Green Road encampment, and that is really something that's really on my heart, and I want to be able to take what I'm doing in the community into that community. They don't have nobody coming to peer support or workshops. I know that there's people up there that are being trafficked. They can't help it, and I understand that, because number one, they have no place to live. They're bound by mental health issues. They have substance abuse issues.
All of it.
So I believe and I know that I can help, because I take food, I take clothing. Okay, so now I want to take my programs and take it to these encampments.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm going to do, because we're all a community. And just because they don't have a roof over their head per se, they're still community members.
Absolutely.
And why shun them out because they're outside? I can't do that.
Oh,
because I lived like them. I lived like that for over 4 years. So I know what it's like to be outside with no roof over your head. And I went from Nova Scotia right across to BC.
Not BC, my God.
Well, at least it was warmer over there.
Yeah, than Toronto. Like I said, I love Toronto. I love the vibes of Toronto. I mean, I had some bad times in Toronto too. But I will say that what you're saying, it is cold. And when you are down and out and it's not even the cold, like physical cold. When you're down and out and you're going through what you're going through there, it's a lonely fucking place.
It is. It is. And it was.
It is lonely. And you have to figure out how to survive on them streets. And the streets ain't no joke.
And they
ain't no joke. They ain't no joke.
That's true.
What are what is two different things, your biggest accomplishments so far with Empowerment for Hope? Could be one thing, it could be two things.
Right
could be
now,
three.
Right now we already hired one staff, and we have two more that we're going to be letting the world to know that, So I'm very happy for that. We have somebody to do our communications and marketing now, and we have someone to do our research and programs. So
that's going to put you to the next level when you're able to have a researcher collect the data, get the information, to write up what you need to write up to get that funding. That's the only way you're really able to get the funding. You need to have the data.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what comes back with that. And I'm more excited. Like, I love that you do advocacy work, but this encampment, going to the community, that is a big thing, because at this point, this is our norm. This is our norm to have these encampments.
Exactly.
I drove by this morning, just coming here by the hospital.
You see it?
Like this, I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't even believe it. So you moved them from across from Smitty's
and put them
on the straight line across from the hospitals. This is the new norm for Nova Scotia, for Halifax, and it's really disheartening to see, because it could be any one of us.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you doing that, it's a big, I mean, who am I? But I would say it means a lot to me
Yeah.
just to see it because it's not easy.
True.
Number one, it's not easy to gain their trust.
Right. And it took a while
Yeah, it
for me to
would.
gain the trust of the people at Green
Absolutely.
Road, and that's why you always have to be able to foster a sense of relationship between
Yeah.
anybody, and I learned that a lot working as a child and youth care worker,
Yeah.
Because you got to gain these kids' trust, and that was really hard.
It really hurt.
Oh my God.
But I bet you they're thinking, oh, I remember Winnie. I remember Winnie, which is good. But gaining the trust of these individuals who've been let down by government, by
Exactly.
society, by communities, by even, local food banks, other organizations that are supposed to be fighting for homeless
Exactly.
individuals. They've been let
Exactly.
down. And then they see this black woman coming in.
Yeah.
Well, who are you?
Yeah.
So you've gained it and you got it. So I think once that rolls out with the Greenwood?
The Green Road.
Green Road
Yeah.
encampment site. Collectively, you'll be able to work in all the encampment sites. I hope there's not a lot of them at this point, but who knows?
Right. And what I do, just because I focuses on that one, because those people know me the most, and I know that there's more that have jumped up over the city, I always go around and give food. I always
No, you do.
that. I do that.
You do have a thing with that. Like,
Yeah.
you really are community
Yeah.
orientated.
Yeah, I do that to make sure, because when I see, like, the people at Green Road, they're trying to formulate their own meal train and stuff. So then I'm sitting, I get so
my
stressed out when I see that. I'm like, oh my God. And then I think, okay, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. I haven't been there in 2 weeks. Oh my God. Because normally I like to go every second week. So, with everything that's been going on in my family, I just didn't get there this time. So, I was thinking, okay, oh my God, okay, they're making a meal train. I don't want to follow suit what I've seen everybody else doing
Yeah.
on social media, to get people to come and give food, So I thank God for my church, Word in Action Ministry.
Yeah.
So they have donated food, they have donated clothing, and and there's just people within the church that just have given me things to go and give to these people. So I'm very grateful for that. And other than through my own organization, I supply stuff for these guys.
Yeah, you do. And I mean, there's some stuff, and I like what you do. You don't post everything.
No, because you got to give people, you got to have some manners.
And I like it. I'm just like, I know Winnie's at this place, or I know Winnie's doing this, or I know that was Winnie who did it, and she didn't post it, because you don't need to post everything.
Yeah.
You do.
Only certain things I will do.
Exactly. You're doing God's work, and you don't need social media to validate it.
Exactly. Hey, girl, you on my page.
I've been watching it, girl. I've been watching you, What have been some of the biggest challenges? And I'm talking, more into the entrepreneurship world, even though it's non-for-profit. You started, a business model. What have been some of the biggest challenges for you from start to now?
Oh my God. I was just in my own way, so I was one of my biggest problems. And once you told me when to get out of your own effing way, then
Girl.
I kind of moved myself out of the way. And that was a whole lot based on that pitch competition, because that's what really, oh my God, like opened me up to everything. Because if I can do that, then I can do anything in front of anybody. So, funding was a big thing for me, funding. And learning, so I'm appreciative of all the ways that you do those grant writing
Programs
and stuff,
workshops,
because
you learn something new every time.
and I've been sitting down with Chat GBT,
Yeah.
going over certain other grants that I have already, done and got
Yeah.
money for, to kind of change it and put it into a strategic
To
plan.
get more money,
Right.
bigger money.
Because I need Department of Community Service to fund me. That's
Yeah,
all I want.
Yeah.
And trust me, that's what we're going
That's a
for.
goal. Yeah.
That's what we're going for, because my whole goal, and I understand that realistically, I got to think realistically, in another 2 years, or another year or 2 years, I want to be able to have a transition house that will help support those that are homeless, that are at high risk of sex trafficking, child exploitation, and gender-based violence. And it's going to be a dry place. And
But what's not realistic about that?
no, what I'm saying, no, it is
It is.
realistic. But if it was up to me, I would want to have it today. That's what I mean.
I'm the same way now. Can I just
But-
go and put it in my back pocket and start today?
But I know that
It takes time.
it takes a minute.
But
I'm gonna
I
have that
2
house.
years is a good time frame. That's literally 24 months. And you're building a team, and you're building a trust and credibility in the community now. And now you just have to say, knock, 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 Department of Community Services.
Yeah.
We need you to step up.
And
We
I
need
do
to
need
step-
them to step up, because if you really, and I'm not saying that they don't, but and I watch a lot of stuff that,
Girl, me too.
okay, and if gender-based violence is on the table, work with me. Work with me. I'm all about gender-based violence, you know? So, and I'm all, not just the sex trafficking, because I've been through that. So work with me to help the community
It's so true.
that's being
Work
bombarded with it.
here's my thing with big government funding now, what I'm starting to understand, and there's three levels to it. You have the funders, and then you have the bureaucrats in the middle, and then you have the people on the ground like us. And I find the middle people are the ones who keep getting the same funding over and over and over and over again. And I'm like, yo, funders, hello, the people on the ground, we're doing the work. We're not just changing wording to meet your mandate.
Right.
We're actually making change. So what they need to look at is that, Empowerment for Hope, or whatever your next division is going to be, your next, entity is going to be, is actually doing the work, and it's in a transitional, holistic way.
Yeah, exactly.
Invest in this individual. At least do 3 year. Give her 3-year contract,
That's all I'm
3-year
asking.
funding, and she's going to show you after that. It's going to be 10-year. Next
Yeah.
time you do a contract
Yeah.
with her or an agreement. So I'm excited for you to do that. I wish you luck with that, because it's going to be an uphill battle. But shit, girl, your life is hard already.
I've been already on
Yeah,
on the
it's
phone.
already it's
Even
normal.
Even though I couldn't get a chance to talk with the the director of Department of Community
Services.
right? But the person that answers the phone, the sidekick lady, but at the end of the day, because I learned something from you when you said about when you're doing funding, make sure you call the people up and
Build a relationship.
Exactly. Oh, I've heard about you. I've watched you on TV.
Yeah.
Good. So now when I come back,
You know my face.
Yeah.
You know what my mandate is. You know what I
Yeah.
need to be done for the community.
Exactly.
I think you can. This is very attainable. 24 months, like, God, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the grace of God, it's going to be done, because it just has to.
I'm just like, I'm like a proud mama over here, you guys. And Winnie's older than me, and I'm a proud mom. What is going on with the partnership with the Youth Advocacy Program through Department of Justice? Well, how's that looking?
So recently, I have just reached back out to them to let them know about the holistic healing workshops and the peer support that we're doing monthly and bi-monthly, to be able to bring those at risk young
that's
girls
great.
from the Preston townships and from all the different areas, Halifax, Dartmouth, North and
wow.
South, to come back together so that I can be able to help the youth. Because I just don't want to stick with women while I'm doing all this
Absolutely.
holistic stuff. Is going to be with children, women, and the youth. That's where I'm at.
I'm curious because I like that, but I'm also curious because your son's ministry is called again what?
Word in Action Ministries.
Thank you. I can never keep it. I always just say Winnie's son. Winnie's son. Is there going to be a role that he's going to play within the prison system with you? I think that would be great. That's why I'm asking.
It would. It would. I thought about this before, and I just brought it up about like having them come into the prison to sing, because I do.
He's different. I'm saying it because he's young. He's fresh. Like he's preaching a different way.
Exactly.
And this is what the prison system needs to see and hear, and to have you in there along with. I think it would just be badass.
Tia, me and you, man, our minds be thinking alike. Because I kind of mentioned this kind of in a way to him before, about bringing them in and they would sing, whatever. But it didn't. It didn't happen like that, because me and Stacy was trying to do something at a point, and so that didn't work out that way. And Cadell being one of the associate pastors, and the work that he does with the church and then in the community, you have to do a lot of working around all that to try to get him to get his team together. You know what I mean?
I know.
To come into the prison with me.
I mean, I would probably just do it like as a trial, like a pilot, just to see how it goes. Even if it was like a weekend or a one family day, because every federal prison has family days, right? And you came in with your team. He came in and sang, preached, gave a little bit of word of God.
Would be beautiful.
Like, yeah, I was just curious about that, because I watch you with him on social media during when he's preaching in on Sundays and whatnot. I'm like, how come this hasn't happened yet? Like, I just can't help it. I always think that way. Cadell?
Yes.
Cadell. Think about it, brother. Think about it. Honestly, because he doesn't understand the gift he has.
Yeah.
He's not boring. He's not passing judgment.
No.
I listen, like I don't go to church, but I listen whenever you're recording stuff, and I'm just like, if I was my younger self, that's someone I would want to preach to me because he's not like looking at audience and having a bias against someone and
No.
using their situation to do their ministry that day.
That's
He
right.
does something
He
different.
keeps it real.
Keeping it real.
He does.
Just like his mother, keeping it real. If someone wants to start non-for-profit, no matter what it was, what would you tell them?
I would say before, have you really thought about what you're doing? It's not it's easy to register it in and all that kind of stuff.
That's
But
the easy part, girl.
now when you're getting into starting it, you're at the start point. What are you going to do? Have you thought about that? It's doable, and it really
It
is
is.
doable. But you got to have a passion behind what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because in any business, because you just can't. It has to be in you, not on you. That's what we used to say.
Oh, I love that.
Doing all
Yeah.
this stuff, right? So, if you don't have it in you, it's never going to work. That's why people that have businesses have flopped because they want to do it because, buddy, my own.
Or it's trending, or it's,
Yes,
this is
exactly.
that. Oh, I
And
know
I
it
made
can
a-
make money because I seen a friend who did it.
And then that's why now you got your doors closed and
Yeah.
you can't get your merchandise and now you want to start a new business. But no, I would tell people that it is doable. Honestly, it has to be in you, not on you. You have to learn to be your authentic
Self,
self to be able to portray yourself to the community or to the world of what you're trying to do. So, but it's doable.
I love that.
It's
It's doable.
I
It
would
is.
encourage anybody, and especially a black woman or anybody black, period. Let's get these businesses up and let's start. Like, oh my God, Rose said something the other day.
Yes.
We need to learn to start utilizing the women that are in the room.
Room.
I said to Michaela, when I go in there, I ain't even going to book to you for interview for a consultation. I'm going to get all my information as soon as I get in there.
And you did.
And we
And you did. And you did. It's okay though, but I don't mind doing that with individuals that are hungry. It's the individuals like to talk and there's no
Yeah.
execution. I don't do it no more. I don't even have time for
Yeah.
them. But when I see individuals that are constantly grinding away and
Yeah.
they just want more and more knowledge, I'm sit with them.
Exactly.
I don't charge
Thank
them.
you.
Like I do, what is it, $159 for an hour now for my coaching calls. That's what I charge. But certain people, come sit down, let's go get a coffee.
Yeah.
Where did we go last time? Pure and simple.
Yeah.
And we were there for quite a while.
And we never even got down to the point about
No.
why we were supposed to be talking.
It was just like, oh, I haven't seen you in so long, which is great.
It's always-
For me, and I'm going to ask this question because it goes into, I believe when you started your organization, and I said earlier that you were a different person than you are now, and I want to refer to that as your confidence. You're just out there, like you're confident when you speak to people. It's different, Winnie. Do you feel that, you being, the CEO of your life, the CEO of your organization, the CEO of your team, that has built your confidence?
It has, because this is my baby.
Yeah.
And I know that the only way that it's going to be sustainable and be productive is if I am that bold person,
Yeah.
And remember when I first started out, I couldn't even talk without
without crying.
Oh my God.
And I would give you that side eye,
Oh, no,
girl.
I know, with all the snot and snicker.
And now you stand tall.
I
And
have
you can,
to.
yeah.
Because I need to allow, even if I'm saying, oh my God, like my vulnerability, put myself out there because this is my authentic self.
Yeah, it is.
This is what really, really happened to me behind closed doors when I was 15 years old, or when I was in a marriage and was being beaten half to death, or this happened to me when I tried to take my
Yeah.
life, and this happened to me when I was homeless. So it's all the deterrence of life.
Absolutely. And I always say that your story is going to be someone's survival guide. So when we speak openly about situations that have happened to us and how we overcame it through resilience, dedication, and commitment and hard
Yeah.
work and all that stuff, and, having, the capabilities of having to bounce back, someone else is going to be like, shit, if she can do it, what's my excuse? So your story is someone's survival guide. So keep talking about it, keep educating, keep advocating for individuals who can't advocate for themselves. I don't care what color they are, girl. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Any initiatives coming up that you want to announce? Anything coming out? Any
Yep.
you doing any kind of event?
So, in October, we're doing our second holistic healing workshop, and I'll announce
In
it.
October
Yeah,
already?
every second month, because we're up to
Oh
November.
my God! You just had one.
I
I
know,
can't
but
even
we're
keep.
already. Hey, listen, I got stuff going on to announce for November.
Okay, listen, for my viewers and listeners, you guys, I just had this conversation with my staff, and I said the reason why I'm so successful is because when other people are in Q1, quarter one, I'm in Q4, quarter four. Props up to you.
Thank you, honey. Listen. I tell everybody, whatever I see Tia doing, Wyndolyn's gonna be falling
Yeah,
behind,
like
and I do. Whatever.
literally, you are already. I
am.
love it.
I am, because you're successful.
Oh, thank
And
you.
it'd be different if you're successful just for yourself.
I'm
but
not.
you're successful and you're always looking out for
Yeah.
for another black woman. And for that, I say kudos to you. Thank you. I wouldn't even be where I am halfway today.
I always think about that first night when you came up to me at the Good Robot
And I was so
beer
nervous.
launch. And I didn't even know who you were. You didn't know me. And I just said to you, just do it.
Yeah. And I was
What's
saying,
stopping you?
Yeah, and I was saying, and then you got up and walked away. I said, now what kind of damn conversation is that? Just do it. And then you come back, you say, don't worry about the money. Just go and do it.
Just do
but
it.
I didn't understand what you meant. And I'm thinking, how do I just go and do it? Why did you just get up and walk away?
Well, I always do that to people because I don't want to give them an oath. Because if we keep talking, you would have talked yourself out of it.
Probably because I was so nervous.
You would have tried to convince me as why you couldn't do it, and I wasn't going to sit there for that. I wanted you just to do it, and I'm going to leave you sit and ponder on it. And then when we launched our 16-week startup, you were right there.
Yeah, because I had to learn.
And then I pushed you, I rid your ass like something terrible.
You
and
did.
I always say to women, if I ride you, as I see potential and I know where you can go.
Yeah.
And if I don't say anything to you, you should worry.
And you know something? I was more afraid, even though you did be like, I just get on my nerves with all this. You never did it right.
Yep, do it again, Winnie, do it again.
Oh my God. I was happy to have you do that, because when you said to me, Wyndolyn, I'm only doing it because I see your potential. You don't want me to be quiet. And I was more afraid of you being quiet than anything. So, yes, thank you so much.
I won't ride your ass now. I'm here to support now and kind of steer in a direction. But then I was like, this girl got to do it. She's scared of her own talent. She's scared of what she knows. She got to come out here and do it. So I got to ride her. She's going to hate me. We may never speak again. But if I can look back and see her on social media and say, wow, she did it.
Yeah.
I don't care if you hate me, right? So
I
I'm
love
just excited.
You're my girl.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Anything that you want to, leave our listeners with today? You want to leave a message? Anything you want to say before we close out, Winnie?
I want to encourage people that, if you follow me on social media and you see what I'm doing, especially with our peer support groups and also our bi-monthly holistic healing workshops, please join us.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sure, not everybody went through trauma, and not everything that we do is based on trauma. So, and then if we do anything that has to do with trauma, we use creative art. It could be spoken word. We use painting the other day, and we use our voices. And I'm telling you, I only put on certain videos, but girl, I'm telling you should have heard them women in there singing. I was telling them, keep it real, sing that. Sound like church choir.
I mean, I wish I could sing, but when I'm in that environment, I'd be singing like I can sing to the gods and can't sing a lick. No, you do good things. You do good events. Asia Sparks, that was at our event Saturday night. You're gonna want to reach out to her.
No, we are.
Her spoken word will bring you to your knees.
No, I've been in her company and listened to her spoken words.
Like, she's had me emotional a few times, and I'm like, she's so young, but she's been through some shit.
She has.
Like, literally. So I'm glad that, see, that's why I collectively bring certain people together, because you never know.
And another thing I'm going to be announcing that later on today. We're going to be doing $20 squares. And what we have done is you can win a laptop, you can win a school basket, you could win a $50 Visa card, $25 Tim card, and I think there's another like $20 card for something. This is to go back to school. So we're trying.
That's exciting. That's starting today.
As a matter of fact, yeah. So when I leave over here,
get that done. Let me know. I'm gonna buy some squares, even if whenever I win stuff and people know this about me, I will actually donate to somebody else that needs it, because I always say every year, I don't know why I haven't, maybe because I'm busy, I would love to do some type of back to school drive for Black mothers who are in business. Do you know how hard it is to get their kids ready, plus run a business?
Wow.
And I just haven't done it yet, so thank you for doing it, Winnie. So hopefully I'll be able to get some squares and win something to pass on to somebody else.
And it's for, because, kids go into school, university and high school.
It's not
Can't
just normal
afford-
school.
Yes,
It's university and high school.
yes, and they can't afford,
it.
laptops. So, you know, God, love Michaela because Michaela comes up with
The great
all
ideas.
The things. That's why I love
She's
working
fresh
with young people.
and she's young. That's why. Listen, my whole team
Is young. I got all young people.
Like that's the only way we're going to be able to be innovative
Yep.
and hip to the game.
Yep,
Because
exactly.
we're at our peak. We're just like here doing it. We can
Yep.
CEO it.
Yep.
But to bring everything to fruition, we need this young crew.
Honestly, and I always say to Michaela, you know something? Okay, no, guess what? She tells me, I said, you know, you go and do it. Once it's done, just come and show me.
Show me what it is,
That's
and then I'll prove it.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with it anyway because they know. Because
They
they're young
know.
people.
I need to go. If we could go back 25 years, 30 years, girl.
If I could go back and I could be where I am today, I'd be saying, wow, look at this. In a couple of years, I could be retiring, passing
Like
this
it doesn't
down
even
to my
make sense. I think about it
family.
all the
Like,
time. What would I tell my younger self? What like it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I wouldn't change anything about my journey.
me neither. Me
Because
either.
I don't think I'd be who I am either.
Neither would I.
So-
And we thank God that
Absolutely.
we are not what we've been through.
Girl, preach. I guess we're gonna leave it at that, guys. Thank you, Winnie, for coming on. Much blessings. Anyways, guys, tune in next week every Friday at 12 p.m. YouTube, Spotify. Come to the Identity Shift because you don't want to miss it. See you later. Thank you for listening to Identity Shift. See everybody next week.